All right, welcome by Reboot. So exciting to have you here in this very first episode. Tatiana, it's exciting.
I'm Tatiana, welcome to Reboot Specialist. I am definitely excited to share all those different topics that we have and we want to cover with you so that we'll be able to share some awesome wisdom so that will help you to be able to accomplish your goals and purpose.
Reboot is all about helping people get unstuck. So many people that we talk to on a daily basis, really, they have a dream, they have a passion, they have something they want to do, but then somehow it just doesn't get going. And we think, that makes sense. You need to spend time and you need to understand why your body and why yourself are reacting the way you do. So with a good talk, with some coaching, you can really get unstuck, really.
And the way that we do it at Reboot Specialist, we call it realignment coaching. What it means is we believe that as human, we are created body, soul, and spirit. And those three parts has to be aligned so that we can fulfill exactly what is burning inside of us. And when one of those parts is not, then we feel a bit like, not really in the groove, like we really feel in the funk.
Yeah.
So, and to get out of that, then we want to invite people to definitely get with us so that we will be able to give them the tools that they need to be able to accomplish what they were meant to be.
That's right. And that's why we also started this episode, this series really, where every time we just want to talk about a different subject. And Tatiana, for today, you had a subject and I thought right away, that's even one of the core of why people get stuck in the first place.
Yeah. So today we want to talk about mindset is everything.
So,
what does trigger to you when you hear that?
Well, the first thing that I think about is if it's right between your ears and you know why you're doing what you need to do, then you can just go for it. And that's the easy part. But so often we find, you hear this expression a lot, like the battlefield of the mind. There's all these thoughts crossing through your mind, good, bad, ugly, that really influence the fact if, nothing changed, but the battle in your mind determines almost where you're going. Exactly.
Mindset is definitely everything. I love that quote. There is a nice quote from Henry Ford that say, if you think you cannot, you're right. If you think you can, you're right. And that's exactly it. Whatever you think you can and you cannot, you're right. Meaning that your mindset is everything. It's really everything. Like the way that you think in your head will come out through your mouth. And your mouth, will be followed by your feet. So pretty much what your mindset is everything. So what kind of mind do you have? When you look at your goals and the thing that you want to accomplish, do you have a negative mind? How is it for you?
You find that there's definitely these times where you think, I'm doing something for the very first time. I know this is awesome, but I'm so afraid. And if the fear is gonna take over, that's what I experience sometimes, that it's something new, I've never done it, but what if there must be people that are smarter than me, they're gonna say, but you're doing it not right. And once that little voice is talking in my head, then it's really hard. Then I'm really gonna have to go back, I have to pause, and I have to really, actually for me, I have to pray and say, okay, God, you gave me this vision, tell me again, why am I the one to do this? And then I'm like, wait a minute. Of course, everybody is learning. We're all just going with what we know. And at this point, that's the best with what I can give. So that's why I'm going for it.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. The battle is in the mind, definitely. And it's good to create a sort of pattern and to realize that and to not be locked up in our mind. Because whenever we're locked up and we don't really see, we just get caught up in the thought, in negative thought, and we get in that spinning and looping and rehearsing those ugly scenarios. And no wonder that we don't do nothing about it, or we don't dare to do nothing about it. whatever is the reason, then we don't get to fulfill our plan, we don't get to fulfill our goals, and we don't get to do what we want to do. So that creates also frustration, and then it just go down like.
So how is it for you? What kind of, because I heard you say like you have to put something in place. What do you put in place?
Well, a few years ago, I really understood that. So I also wrote a book called Beautiful that you can get on the website. Is a great insight on understanding pretty much those principles, that mindset is everything. The way that it works is pretty much to understand, like, actually, but what am I thinking? A lot of people are not aware of it because it's almost that it's just so normal, so you're not really aware of your thoughts
because it's in your mind. So
exactly. But what we know is that your thought get always out through your mouth, so it's really good to pay attention of what kind of word come out of your mouth. Then it will give you a great insight on what is in your mind. And all those things, if you start speaking things that you're not aligning with, that you're not agreeing with, then you have to pay attention and say, hey, wait a minute, how come I'm saying those things? I need to make sure that I rewind and see what is the source of it. And very often it is based from a negative thought. So to understand a bit the whole process, I would encourage you to go deeper in the book. Those are principles that are good to master, to just start to get unstuck.
What I liked about your book is, it is so easy to take. You're taking us to just pausing and think about for a minute. Now really think about it and write down what you're thinking. Yeah. And then it helps you also to reflect better.
Exactly. That's the purpose.
It's not a very long book, but it's a very intense process. Yeah. Really cool.
Like everybody knows that. Like the first way, the first part of change is to become aware. So, and that's really what the book does. It just takes you through all those reflective moments so that you will become aware. And if you become aware, then it's easy to do something about it and really bring change. But if you're not aware, obviously that's not going to work. So the first step, what you need to do is to become aware.
Awesome.
And that's what that book allows you to do, because mindset is really everything. And I'm sure you guys also experience it. You talk with people and they're like, man, what the negative, and that's what they carry around. And then you have people, they believe that everything is possible, right?
It's nice to spend time with those people.
Exactly. Because their mindset is totally almost on an other channel. They just filter things totally different.
And what I like about those people, that I'm also realizing, you just need to also filter your ears. Because you're gonna meet both the positive and the negative people.
Exactly.
But what kind of voice do you hear in your mind when you hear the negative person talk or the positive person? How does your inner man respond to those?
Exactly.
Because then you also know again, oh wait a minute, but I do want to agree with this person. This is awesome what he's telling me. I'm gonna believe with him in what he wants to do.
Like, it's really, there is that phase of grooming, and sometimes you can be intentional about it and sometimes not. So the whole thing is really to be able to say, hey, I want to do it by design, meaning that I'm going to be really intentional to choose who's going to be in my entourage, who's going to be in my circle, who's going to have access to my ears. And then you have that second is like, well, if you don't do nothing, well, by default, you're going to get something, So the challenge is to really become aware. And then as soon that you're aware, you can work at it. And you can make sure that the people that get access to your ears and that speak into your life align with your goal, align with your purpose. I'm not saying just get friends who say hallelujah and amen to everything you're thinking and saying. But what I'm saying is, like, surround yourself with people that believe in you and that will be able to help you pull that and help you align those steps that you will need to do to accomplish that. That's really important.
Have I ever said in a preaching, like when I was preaching in a church, like the beauty with the cell phones these days is that you can actually see who's gonna call you. And you look at the picture and you see somebody, man, if I pick up this phone, I know I'm gonna go into this negative spiral. Just don't pick up. Just swipe them away and say, speak to my voicemail.
Exactly.
Get to you.
And that's also a part of becoming aware. Like, man, who are those people? Like, when I spend time with them, they vampire. They take my energy, they suck life out of me. that's part of it.
Yeah.
So again, I want to encourage you to go to our website and go check the book Beautiful, because we
Nice.
definitely believe that if you want to have a beautiful life, then you have to learn to be full of beauty.
Yeah.
So become beautiful.
And it all starts with your own mindset.
Exactly.
That's what we talked about today.
Exactly.
That was awesome. Thank you guys for watching. It was great being with you, and next week we'll have another episode.
See you.